A child crams for a history test and gets an A. A week later, that knowledge is gone. We've all seen it happen. This is biological design. The forgetting curve shows we're wired to lose 90% of new information in days. For kids, it's harder. Their prefrontal cortex, the brain's CEO of memory, is still under construction. The problem isn't the student, it's that we teach against the grain of their brain's natural wiring. First, we'll uncover why brains struggle to hold the past. Then, you'll get the science-backed ways to make history stick. So what are we doing wrong? Let's look at the standard history class. It starts with a misunderstanding of how memory works. First, traditional methods overwhelm the brain. They dump too much information, causing cognitive overload. Nothing gets stored. Second, they focus on rote memorization, just names and dates. This treats the brain like a filing cabinet, ignoring its need for context. Third, modern life adds another enemy: multitasking. Constant digital distractions create weak, fragmented memories. These factors create a perfect storm for forgetting. We are fighting a losing battle against our own biology. But the story goes deeper than just bad teaching methods. To find the solution, we have to look at the brain itself. Why is it especially hard for kids and teens? The answer is in a part of the brain that is not fully built yet. Think of the prefrontal cortex as the brain's director. It manages attention, organizes information, and decides what's important. In kids, this director is easily distracted and less efficient. This makes organizing historical timelines incredibly challenging. This isn't a flaw, it's a normal part of development. But a 12-year-old's brain can't encode memory like a 25-year-old's. So if the brain is made to forget, and the director is in training, how does anything stick? There is a hidden shortcut. That shortcut is emotion. Our brains do not remember everything equally. They prioritize certain inputs. When we experience a strong emotion, the brain's amygdala kicks into high gear. It flags the experience for long-term storage. Positive emotions like curiosity and excitement are especially powerful. They release dopamine, strengthening neural connections. This is how memories are saved, even with a developing brain. Emotion tells the mind what is worth keeping, bypassing the default setting. Think about it. You remember your first concert, not the 14th president's birth year. One was an emotional experience. But even when a memory is formed, it is not safe. It's surprisingly fragile and influenced by other biological factors. Here's a shocking truth. Your memory is more like a Wikipedia page that you can edit. Every time you recall it, your brain rewrites it. One of the biggest threats to memory is a lack of sleep. The brain consolidates information primarily during sleep. No sleep, no storage. Stress is another memory killer. High anxiety levels can cause the mind to blank out, blocking recall and disrupting sleep. So, a memory must be protected. It is vulnerable to being rewritten, degraded by stress, and lost without proper rest. We've seen the problem. A brain built to forget, facing methods that don't work. Now, how do we fight back with brain science? Recall the forgetting curve from the beginning. Two weapons work against it: spaced repetition and active recall to strengthen pathways. We also learned emotion is the brain's save button. The best way to generate that for history is through storytelling. We can supercharge this by making history personal and active. Connect events to a student's own life or have them act out scenes. This is the brain science solution. History taught as an emotional story, reinforced with active recall and reviewed over time. So why do kids forget history? The cause is not a lack of care or intelligence. We've used the wrong user manual for their brains. Forgetting is the default, especially for a developing mind. Traditional methods and stress make it worse, but emotion makes learning stick. Understanding this science gives us power as parents and teachers. We can stop blaming students and start changing our strategies. Let's transform history from a list of facts to be forgotten into a collection of stories to be remembered. Our kids' brains demand it.